Hello Internet. Today we are going to replace the spark plugs and ignition coils on a 2018 Nissan Pathfinder SV. I think it's a 3.5 liter V6. I've already done the ones in the front because they were real easy to get to. The ones in the back, you have to take the throttle body and the intake manifold off. So I've already disconnected the negative power terminal. So no electrons are flowing, and we're going to proceed from there. To remove the air box, to remove mass airflow sensor. I think if I can get it. It doesn't like to unclip. Things don't like to unclip. Unclip. Damn it. To remove parts, to remove parts. My hands don't fit. Don't know how this declips. Like that. That can go away. Leave that in there. Disconnect the other end. to remove parts to remove parts. My hands don't fit. Don't know how this declips. Like that. That can go away. Leave that in there. Disconnect the other end. There we go. Hooray! That looks like hex bolts. The smart man gathers all his tools before he starts working on something. And I just threw that into the engine. Well, the open engine bay. Now I have to find it. Okay, so I'm back. I had to take some other parts off. I had to find another part for another thing because the stuff that I had wasn't doing what it was supposed to do. And so I've removed parts so I can get to other parts. And I don't have the correct tool to get the throttle body off, so I have to use this wrench. And I know there's an order that you're supposed to do this in, but nobody got time for that. And so it looks like that bolt is going to disagree with me. So I'm going to disagree with it. Fun. This would be a lot better if these parts cooperated. Frankly, I don't care what order they come out in. Another service manual says, hey, do it this way. Service manual isn't sitting here trying to get this stupid thing off with what tools you have available. So I got 3 of them broke loose, and the other one doesn't want to cooperate. And I don't know what to do to get it to cooperate. There it goes. We're going to move that bolt up top later so that it will be the aggravating one that's in the way, instead of being the aggravating one that's on the bottom. I've got a cup here, a magnetized cup for all my bolts and pieces. Boy, these are long. I think the guy's warned about that. Yep, pretty long. Look at that, magnetic. That way it won't go away and I won't lose all my parts, because I've already dropped several things down into the engine bay that I didn't want to drop down into the engine bay. So I have to take the throttle body off to get to the intake manifold. And we have to take the intake manifold off to get to the spark plugs and not the injectors, the ignition coils on the back side of the engine, because somebody thought it would be a good idea to put this engine in sideways where you can't reach anything. And I suppose that's fine. If you're built that way. Most of us aren't built that way. Let's pull this out of the way over here. That looks alright. Oh, that looks okay. Now we're supposed to take off 4 more bolts. It says you take off 4 bolts and the whole thing's supposed to come right out. Let's disconnect some things. 1, 2, 3. These things are all connected to other things that just make it a pain in the ass for it to be connected to. So you have to remove other things. There's tabs underneath here that you can't get to. There we go. Disconnected, disconnected. Read somewhere that you only need to be able to disconnect this thing far enough for it to be out of the way. I don't know what the heck that means. So there are 4 bolts that you have to do it to get it out of the way. I presume these are all 10mm, because the 10mm wrench works. Somebody who did this before me said that there's 2 hoses on the back you got to disconnect also. So we'll go ahead and disconnect 2 hoses. Hopefully. It's very hot. Okay, the whole manifold is loose. That's good news. Now I have to well, it's off. At least the first one. That's one. And I can't get that one with my fingers. That one came off with my fingers. That one will not come off with my fingers. Is that connected? That is connected. That has to come off, or else it won't work. So I've got to get back here, figure out how to disconnect this one hose clamp Ha. Ha. I win. Ah, got it. Now, in theory, should be able to just take the manifold, lift it clear, and pull it out of the way. It's still connected to something, so we'll put it back and see what else it's connected to. Looks like there's one more thing back there. Ah, yep, that's right. There's a tab with a wire connected. For some reason. And now the manifold moves out of the way, and we can get to the rear of the engine. Hot diggity dog. How about that, internets? Just do my other parts so that I can take things apart. Hey, internet, we did it. Whoop, whoop. These are the parts in question. Ignition coils. And we don't want to drop anything down into the motor. That'd be bad. We want to disconnect all of the ignition coils. All of the ignition coils. There we go. And take out all these 10mm bolts and put them up here. And take out this coil. Ooh, that's pretty gross. And take out this coil. That one's not as bad. And we got one more. And that one's not as bad. So I had one really gross one and two not so bad ones. But we're replacing all of them, so what the heck. Now we're going to go ahead, pull the old spark plugs, and I went ahead and got a 14mm spark plug wrench. The guy at one place said, they don't make that. Why would you want a metric one? I said, well, it's a metric car. Because Nissan is metric, I guess. And